Recording this video after close trade Thursday 15th of August 2013. Well, finally we got it. The sell-off through 1680, bang, down into the 50s. 1655 I think was the low today. 2.0 million contracts traded. A lot of the move happened overnight. We had decent range and decent volume during the day, but a lot of that kind of trending move happened overnight. And we get one of these fairly rare magenta bars where we've got high volume churn and exhaustion volume. You can actually get these together. The high volume churn is relatively low range, high volume, and the exhaustion is relatively large range and large volume. So, you know, a lot of people email me saying, how can it be that they happen together? Well, you know, the mathematics works out that you can. Don't email me with questions on that one. But anyway, so it was an interesting day. The question is, you know, what happens next? Definitely busted through in terms of trends. So here's better trend line, and there's that little congestion zone with a fake out on the way up, and then bang, which got me good. Now through 1680 on the way down. We've also busted up the better X trend supports. So here we go on at ES, the daily chart here. We've now flipped over to a downtrend on the way down here. What I thought was pretty interesting. So I look at this on all the indices, and what was interesting was the Nasdaq index had actually flipped a few days ago, and we were going underneath the lip. So you can see here that's where we got the break in the Nasdaq. It flips to the upside, and all we'd been doing over that last week was just kind of pushing back up. I call this under the lip, and then we get rejected there and bang on the way down. So little pattern there, slightly different on the indices, and you know, as usual, the Nasdaq is pretty good at you know, kind of foretelling what's going to go on. It's that and the Russell. You know, if you start to see weakness in those before you see weakness in the Dow and the S&P, that's usually a bit of a sign. So from now, where do we go? Because on the higher time frames, we've definitely busted through. So this 1680 level on the 40,500 tip bar chart was a support. We're through here into a downtrend. Looks like we've got exhaustion selling on a left shoulder. We're just kind of bouncing around, and I say look for these little end of trend patterns to ripple through the different time frames, and they start on the lower time frames. You know, it's either 500, 15, and 4500, or on these higher time frames charts starting in that 40,500, and there we go. So on this lower of these higher time frame charts, pull back to end of trend. So that's the first little shoulder there. And then on the 13,500, you can see pullback to end of trend at the end of the day. And then what that means for the 40,500 is that's a high kind of likelihood that that's like a left shoulder that we formed today, because we formed those little end of trend patterns in the lower time frames. But the trend is still down because we're down through support. So the next kind of target up for a good entry would be a pullback and a downtrend on the 40,000. So could be we'll put in a bullish divergence with this pattern. We'll kind of float up tomorrow, but then look, because you know it's game on at this point. There'll be people who missed this move down through 1680 and looking for any opportunity on a retrace to kind of get in. So that'll be the next kind of opportunity to kind of get short. You know, usually after big days like today, it's tricky the next day. The range kind of goes down. Fridays tend to be kind of higher range days, so we'll kind of wait and see. But that's what I'm suggesting. This is kind of a left shoulder, and we're going to float back up, but then we've got to see pullback to end of trend on the way down. Now, on the weekend, I put out a video saying this week is going to be fireworks and fun. And the first couple of days of the week started off a little bit kind of odd, and we had these amateur down bars, and I said, wait, give it time, because they're just showing a little bit of weakness. Amateur down bars are really interesting. Once you've got, like here, Japanese yen, we know we've had this huge sell-off, you know, since October, and we had our pullback to end of trend, exhaustion patterns, bullish divergence right on the zero line, so wait for a flush. You know, this is happening on an end of trend, so wait for the second cyclical turn after end of trend. I mean, it actually ended up being the best entry point here. We have some blue professional bars chasing into the market there, and the first kind of short covering rally here. So we came off after there, weak selling, little bullish divergence, nice one close to the zero line, and we're kind of just breaking up. Now, beginning of this week, we had amateur down bars here. All those we couldn't just continue through. We've broken into an uptrend here, have a little bit of weakness. Amateur down bars come in, the amateurs going the wrong way, and then today's activity, blue professional up bar. The professionals have picked it up, so we're looking for the next couple of days activity to keep on going through the highs of here. Then we're away. You know, we're away. That'll take us through. I said 2.5 was a critical level to show that there was strength. We come back, and we come back, you know, quite a long ways, but this is showing that the professionals anxious to get on board it, and if we continue through the highs of today's activity, the yen's going to strengthen. That's the carry trade. That means the equities will continue to weaken and so on. So the yen's, in my mind, now on its way. But let's look for confirmation tomorrow. We need to see the highs kind of broken and continue up. Show you dollar index last. British pound, here we go. This is like the same type thing. Blue professional bar, come back into a fraction of that, and then we keep on going. So today's activity broke through the highs here. Again, same thing. We had exhaustion patterns down here. We had flush patterns kind of going on, and this was the break. This is jumping the creek through here. Amateur down bar during this sequence here. Just a little testing move. Nowhere near the lows of that blue professional bar where the professionals are kind of active here. It holds, bang, and we're through it. So the pound's on its way. Euro, I said the same thing at the beginning of the week. Look for 34 to be broken. Here's these little amateur down bars. We get a little bit of weakness, and then the professionals step in, bang, push it up. Like this one here. This one, this is a bit of a U-turn, so they bought it at the bottoms, push it up. The low of that blue professional bar holds. We keep on going. This is the testing. This is the amateurs kind of getting involved, maybe a little bit too early, have some weakness after that, have some weakness here. The amateurs think, oh, maybe this thing's going down, 34's resistance and so on. No, bang. So again, look over the next couple of days, the high to be broken, continue up through here. So 33's, 3.5, 34, bang, we're away on the euro here. Aussie dollar, we've had this pullback to end of trend forever. The flush pattern's kind of gone in. It's kind of going nowhere at the moment. I think this is still in a downtrend when we look at the weekly chart. So this is kind of less interesting. And Canadian dollar, similar thing, that those currencies will tend to move together. We've got support in at this point here, flush in and so on. So I think all those currencies are kind of going in that direction. But now finally, after those amateur down bars and blue professional bars kind of come in, bang, we're away. And dollar index is the flip side. So there's those amateur down bars, amateur up bars now, because we're in a downtrend, testing back up, amateurs getting wrong-footed, bang, we break to the lows like that. So there we go. So that's the fireworks I was expecting this week with the currencies market. They're kind of all that weakness, I don't know, I didn't expect it. I thought it might kind of continue straight away, but just look for that as just signs of just testing, the amateurs getting wrong-footed, and now with today's activity we kind of got confirmation. Tomorrow will show if those highs continue to get broken on the yen and so on. It's going to be interesting. The currencies are all moving into trends on those daily time frames. And then gold and silver. So gold, bang. So we hit resistance, little amateur up bars here, a little bit of not sure kind of activity, and then bang, blue professional bar through resistance. I said 1350 was the number to get through. That's jumping the creek, getting this thing moving. We've got our exhaustion selling, we've got bullish divergence close to the zero line, wait for the flush. There's the flush, comes in nicely. 1200 was the number. Professionals kind of come in, picking it up here. A little bit of weakness, not very strong selling at that point. Bang, we're through. So again, gold and silver, I mean, they're still in big downtrends because we've got to hit resistance on the weekly charts, but this is the beginning of a little push to the upside, and let's see kind of where that goes. Silver, same thing. Been talking about silver. We had this pullback to end of trend. 19 was the number. Bang, we're through it. And look at this, the selling here, the short covering rallies. We put in the damage here on the downside, and we're going up to those weekly resistance lines, but that's important. These things are kind of getting going. And lastly, bonds. Now bonds, we've had quite a lot of weakness into pushing down into this end of trend, but with today's activity, another blue professional bar's kind of come in. So that, let's see, bullish divergence, flush, or whatever kind of goes on here. If tomorrow the highs get taken out of that bond chart, we're away. That would signal that the professionals just picked it up. You can see the close are kind of midway through the range of that bar, showing the lows, a little bit of buying kind of coming in. So, but if we break through the highs of that tomorrow, that'll be really important. I know a lot of the news at the moment is talking about kind of the decline in bonds and the sell-off in bonds and so on, but I see it a little bit differently. I still see weakness because we've got a weekly resistance to get to, but these blue professional bars kind of pushing down, testing. The highs get taken out, and that's gonna go up. So there we go. Quite a lot to talk about today. So here's the sell-off on the 1500 tip bar chart. Bang. And I always say, there's an opportunity at the open once you got kind of strong downtrends like this to jump on just for a quick trade first thing before we get the exhaustion pattern. So the biggest chunk of the move has happened overnight. Missed that, you wake up to find the open has started really weak. The best thing to do is to jump on board straight away, find any sign of weakness to kind of get in, waiting for that exhaustion pattern on the way down. So that's what I did. Got short 67, had to sit around through this little push back up, but it turned around, bang, and was on the way down. Got out at 63, 4 points, and just before the exhaustion pattern comes in, blue professional bar, and the first pro signal exit kind of comes in there. Then we had this weak little retrace, amateur up bars, and down. Look, the first bullish divergence right on the zero line, so waiting for a flush. Flush pattern happens here, blue professional bars kind of come in again, and then we test back down, Rambo patterns, weak selling, had a little bit of a rally. I got a nice little, another short trade after that, and a nice little long trade at 60.50 just for 2 points here with the breakout happening at that point there, and then we kind of test it back down for the lows. But anyway, so the suggestion on days like this, when you got the bulk of the move has happened overnight, is to kind of just use any opportunity to get short at the beginning of the day, just waiting for that exhaustion pattern to happen during the full liquidity of the day, and that's what happened. Anyway, so there we go. Quite a long video today. Not sure how I feel about what's going to happen tomorrow. It could be kind of a little bit of go nowhere. So just watch out. I hope your trading's going well.